booktube. I have a small Saturday mail haul for you here. One periodical that I got in the mail and one package that we can explore together. Some naysayers might say it's too small for a video, but I like talking to you about everything. So the periodical is Vanity Fair with a star on the cover that I do not know. It always makes me feel a little old. Who is this? Anya Taylor-Joy? The breakout star of The Queen's Gambit and Emma. Okay. And I learned all about her. I read the profile. She seems nice. That's a very offhand way to put it, but nevertheless. But there were a couple of items in here that were of interest. First of all, of course, there's the always entertaining world of high fashion. Because in addition to saturating its pages with ads for processed tobacco that gives you cancer, processed tobacco gives you cancer. It doesn't give some people who use it cancer. It gives all of its users cancer. And yet they still pay for ads in magazines. And some magazines take those ads. Mystifies me. But here we have there's the trending page of Vanity Fair. And there's one item here. What is the description? This is a Bottega Veneta bag. It's a handbag. It is cheap plastic along the rim that is covered in literally tissue-thin purple cloth. And then this little brocaded thing here. It's a tiny little thing. It's got a shoulder strap. And it's made by slaves, of course. And it's incredibly cheap. Cheaply made, that is. It's incredibly cheaply made. You cannot put it to any kind of strenuous use at all. But if you're interested in it, it costs $7,950. That bag costs $7,950. If you pay $7,950, that's all yours. Now, if that's too rich for your blood, if you want to pay a little less for a handbag, well, you could always get, let me see here, a Fendi bag. There's a Fendi bag that's on the same page. That's the brand name, Fendi. And the Fendi bag is only $1,290. So it's hugely less expensive. And there's only one problem with it, which is that you can't use it. You can't use it for coins or keys or anything else. Anything smaller than the gaps that make up this bag. That is the bag. It clasps on the top. It has a little shoulder strap. And I guess you could include bubble wrap in there. So you have a bag to carry around your bubble wrap. Maybe. I don't know. Pretty much after one use, pretty much anything else you would put in that is going to fall through. So you have a bag you can't use. But the good news is that you didn't pay $7,950 for it. You only paid, what was it again? $1,290. Okay. But fortunately, it wasn't all nausea-inducing in this issue. There was one article in here in the back. It's an article about books, so it's not sexy. So it's in the back where nobody can find it. And it's by Mark Wortman, and it was terrific. It's about an epic book heist. Look at the artwork they got for it. Where these high-tech book thieves stole some extremely collectible items. Irreplaceable, as the article says. I want to read you just one paragraph here. Gone was Albert Einstein's own 1621 copy of astronomer Kepler's The Cosmic Mystery, in which he lays out his theory of planetary motion. Also missing was an important 1777 edition of Isaac Newton's Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, his book describing gravity and the laws of physics. Among other rarities stolen, a 1497 update to the first book written about women, a 1569 version of Dante's Divine Comedy, and a sheath with 80 celebrated prints by Goya. The most valuable book in the haul was the 1566 Latin edition of On the Revolutions of the Heavenly Spheres by Copernicus, in which he posits his world-changing theory that Earth and other planets revolve around the sun. That copy alone had a price tag of $293,000. Altogether, the missing books, stolen on the night of January 29, 2017, into early the next day, were valued at more than $3.4 million. Given their unique historical significance and the fact that many contain handwritten notes by past owners, most were irreplaceable. And the story continues in true crime fashion, just dramatizing the discovery of the theft, the analysis of the crime scene, the work of the detectives to track down who was responsible. I was like five 5 paragraphs in, and I was thinking, has anybody checked Jason Harrigan's attic? but the thieves were extremely daring and tech savvy and athletic, and I'm not sure that he would go to that bother when he has a shop set up and all. But fascinating article. So if you're looking at that issue on the newsstand, you're wondering if it's all $7,000 handbags. It's not. There's also an article about books, but there's also a little bit of mail. We've got a package of mail here from a publisher. So let's see what we have here. Oh boy. Okay, great. Right. This is from Tor, a great American publisher of science fiction and fantasy. I don't get everything from Tor, but I'm very glad to have this. This comes out in late July. This is the advanced copy of Shelley Parker Chan's She Who Became the Sun. Lovely, lovely impressionistic cover there. Some of you may have already heard about this on SFF 180. An absolutely necessary BookTube channel if you're interested in science fiction and fantasy. But for those of you who did not, let's see. Mulan meets the Song of Achilles in the stunningly lyrical, bold She Who Became the Sun. Let's see here. The setting is 1345 China. China lies under harsh Mongol rule. For the starving peasants of the Central Plains, greatness is something found only in stories. So when, in famine-stricken village on the dusty Yellow Plain, the Zhou family's 8th-born son, Zhou Chongba, is given a fate of greatness, everyone is mystified as to how it will come to pass. So he's predicted to be great, but how can he be when it's a hand-to-mouth existence as slaves of the Mongols? The fate of nothingness received by the family's clever, capable second daughter, on the other hand, is only to be expected. So the family's second daughter gets a fate handed to her that you're not going to amount to anything. And that's totally believable. It's believable also that it will be true for her brother. But maybe in the world of this novel, the fates that are handed out to children are expected to come true in some sort of supernatural way. When a bandit attack orphans the 2 children, it is Zhou Chongba who succumbs to despair and dies. Desperate to escape her own fated death, the girl uses her brother's identity to enter a monastery as a young male novice. There, propelled by her burning desire to survive, the genderqueer monk Zhu learns she is capable of doing... Wait. Isn't Zhu her brother? Oh, she takes on his identity. So, okay. So she was lesbian to start with? I don't know. It seems to be that they're linking her monk status with her assumed name and her gender or sexuality. Anyway, let's just push on here. The genderqueer, I don't know what genderqueer means. It's a political term, so I'm stumbling on that. It doesn't describe anything real. It describes something that you're supposed to beat your opponents with. But I'm sure I'll learn in the course of the book what it means. The genderqueer monk Zhu learns she is capable of doing whatever it takes, no matter how callous, to stay hidden from her fate. She refuses to be nothing. Oh, so maybe it is true in this book that your fates have a supernatural coercive ability over your life. Maybe it's not just a fate, but as in Norse mythology would be your doom, where your doom is pronounced and you cannot evade it. That would be kind of interesting. I wonder who would determine that. I guess I'll find out in the book. But let's keep going here. After her sanctuary is destroyed for supporting the rebellion against Mongol rule, Zhu takes the chance to claim another future altogether. Her brother's abandoned Mandate of Heaven, and Mandate of Heaven is in capital letters, so maybe that is the case here. But why would she wait? If she could assume that at will, why wouldn't she do that when she assumed, I guess, his identity? It sounds like she's taking his name. We haven't learned her name yet. Have we? No, we haven't learned her name yet. If she takes his name, why wouldn't she be able to take his mandate if she can? Why would she wait? Let's see here. Shelley Parker Chan is not to be missed this summer as she bursts onto the literary scene with this ruthless, sweeping debut. This is a debut? How wonderful. Big, full-color hardcover. Is this going to be a hardcover? Or a paperback? No, this is going to be a hardcover. $30 hardcover from Tor in the summer. Fantastic as a debut with a beautiful original cover art. That is great. With queer, diverse characters, non-stop action, and political intrigue, this novel is perfect for fans of R.F. Kuang, Tamsin Muir, own voice queer authors, and beautifully written, sweeping Chinese historical fiction. Okay, I'm not gonna rise to the bait of that own voices. I'm sure that all of you who have been watching these videos for any length of time know what I think about the own voices movement, and so we don't need to dwell on it. This book could still be fantastic. What do we know about her? Shelley Parker Chan is an Australian by way of Malaysia and New Zealand. A 2017 Tiptree Fellow, she is the author of the historical fantasy novel She Who Became the Sun. She spent nearly a decade working as a diplomat and international development advisor in Southeast Asia, where she became addicted to East Asian historical epic TV dramas. After a failed search to find English-language book versions of these stories, she decided to write her own. Very wise. Very wise. One of the old dictums, the old nostrums of the writing world is, if you don't see the story that you want to read, write it. Maybe it's waiting for you. Maybe that's your mandate, is to write that story. Good for her. She didn't see the story she wanted to read, so she wrote one. And she won't be the only person to want to read those stories. So it's your duty, as I've said on this channel many times, it's your duty to someone in the future that you're never going to meet, to get those stories that are inside you out of you and onto the page. And for a story to have a gigantic, trumpets and timpani debut in hardcover from Tor, that's incredible. Parker Chan currently lives in Melbourne, Australia, where she is very grateful to never have to travel by leaky boat ever again. Oh my, I can imagine. Okay, fantastic. And in addition, I mean, this comes out in late July, but in addition to that description, this thing also comes loaded with blurbs from everybody. Just a ton of writers, including quite a few that I like. A.K. Larkwood did The Unspoken Name. I really enjoyed that book. And S.A. Chakraborty has a blurb here for the Devabad trilogy. Those are just fantastic, just incredible. Great. Okay, well, that is our one book, an ambitious sounding and also slightly different sounding. Not all the same stuff. It sounds like some new elements involved here. That's great. So this is going to be a hardcover in late July. She Who Became the Sun. Wow. Okay, well, the pub sheet raised a lot of questions in my mind, just about procedural questions about how the magic system of the world works, and that's great, because that's what I'm going to want to propel me through the book. So there you go. That was our mail for today. One very promising sounding fantasy novel and the new Vanity Fair. In case you're in the mood for a new handbag, you can spend $7,950 for one that will last you a month. Yay! Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.